I am Usnavi, and you probably never heard my name. Reports of my fame are greatly exaggerated, exacerbated by the fact that my syntax is highly complicated, cause I immigrated from the single greatest little place in the Caribbean, Dominican Republic. I love it, Jesus, I'm jealous of it, and beyond that, ever since my folks passed on, I haven't gone back. God damn, I gotta get on there. Oh.
Welcome to Broadway Baby, the podcast taking one casual theater goer to full out fangirl. I'm your host, Kimberly Schmidt, here with my husband, Jay Schmidt.
Hi, guys.
And our baby, Alex Facella.
Attention.
And in anticipation of the highly anticipated movie musical, we listened to the original Broadway cast of In the Heights.
In the Heights.
Where we are right now.
Yeah. We are actively in the Heights recording this episode right now.
Not 181st. We did not take the escalator.
No.
But you'll thank
me
later.
That is one hell of
Don't
an
worry.
escalator, though.
It is a very crazy escalator.
I've never made it that far uptown without being, whoever I'm visiting, being like, I gotta use your restroom, like, now. Like, It's a long way up.
It's the Heights.
Yeah.
Yep.
There are hills in the Heights. Has Baby met world?
Baby's met some world. I watched the documentary on Merrily We Roll Along.
Aww.
Which was cute. I'm like mildly fascinated by that show.
Okay.
Because I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, just nobody got it. It's an underrated gem. I'm like, no, the score is fine. Some of the directorial choices were fine to bad. The cast was fine. Like, it's the perfect storm of just everyone's doing okay when everyone was expected to do amazing, and it just imploded.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
But I agree. There are things that were just like it because it didn't skip out of town. Like it was rushed because a hot team was in charge of it.
Yeah.
And so it probably just didn't have enough time.
Y'all, they have got to stop doing that. They've got to stop, like,
just being like, oh, here's all the money you want for this show. But can you do it in 6 months?
Yeah.
You know that your last hit took 7 years.
No one should speed musical.
No.
Well,
like, even, like...
That's why I was worried about Hamilton, because In the Heights took 10 years to get to Broadway, and then Hamilton took, 4.
Yeah, but Hamilton went through all the
It did all the
steps.
things. They've learned.
Yeah. What's most interesting about that Merrily movie to me, and about the process of making that show specifically, is there's an interesting level of someone's career when you know they're really, really good at what they do, but they still need feedback because everyone needs feedback, but now people are scared. They're either scared to say no to them, or they think, whatever my opinion is probably just wrong, I'll just agree with what they say. So then that person is more likely to make a bad choice that should have just been cut, and they would have thought of something much better.
It's the same as teams that are all best friends, or people who only work with their friends.
Yes.
But friends that do not have the friendship to say, honey, this is bad. Where you just get too many yes men in a room.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden a bit makes it to Broadway. That's just like, I bet that was funny 5 years ago at a single rehearsal.
Getting the band back together was that show.
Getting the band back together.
Yeah.
Is the case in point of that thing. And wasn't that rushed? Not that it was a hot team.
No.
Anyway, you watched Merrily We Roll Along, and now you're obsessed with it. Thank you.
Sure.
You've listened to every revision.
I listened to both albums, and I do like that.
There are more than 2.
Okay, I listened to 2 of the however many there are, and I do really like Charlie's song with a mutter, 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 mutter gesture. I really like that one.
Have you watched the Raul Esparza bootleg?
No.
It will break your brain. I'll send it to you.
Okay. I did. It was interesting, just speaking of the show we're doing today, hearing Lin-Manuel cast as someone in a Sondheim show. Because first of all, just hearing him in a thing that he didn't write is just sort of like never a thing I'm used to.
Yeah.
And then as that very specific, that Sondheim patter plus the all over the chord style is not what I'm used to hearing from him. So I'm just like, whoa, okay. And I liked it, but it was just like, it was a little bit crossed wires.
Oh, yeah. Me. It was great casting, though, because it was right after In the Heights.
Yeah.
I saw it.
I just know that I love Merrily We Roll Along, and it's my favorite show.
Thank you. You're married to me.
Yep. Because if I were to have any other opinion, it would be a problem.
Well, you can say that you didn't like the most recent off-Broadway revival.
You know what? I watched the most recent off-Broadway revival, and I was not a huge fan.
Thank you. Neither was I.
Yeah.
I had a friend who saw that, and she said she really wanted to like it and didn't. That.
Yeah.
Specifically that.
It was the most excited thing. I was the most excited to see that I had been to see a show in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And it was just like disappointment after disappointment, and it was very upsetting to be around.
Yeah.
Me and Kevin were very sad.
It's like when I saw Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, yeah. Very similar vibe in the audience.
It's like, no, or Jagged Little Pill. I was like, no one wanted to like this more than me. No one wanted to like this more.
That was me at Girl from the North Country.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's like, I was your target audience.
I'm wearing a Dylan shirt right now. How is the show making me sad?
Yeah.
And not in the way it wants to.
Not in the good way.
Not in the good way.
Yeah. Sometimes you really hype stuff up in your brain and then sadness.
Yeah. Second, I listened to, not the whole thing, but the first act of Les Mis in the original French.
How'd that go?
It was fun. I speak just enough French to pick up on some of the differences of what they were saying, of how they phrase things from English to French.
Yes.
And having processed it, I think the English lyrics are actually a lot better.
Oh.
At least in few moments. Like, One Day More is this, I love it because they're going in tomorrow, things are going to get crazy. And in French, it's called The Big Day, which is not nearly as exciting a lyrical concept.
No.
Oh, no.
No. And it's the same idea, but I'm like...
The Big Day.
Yeah, Le Grand Jour. I'm like, no, it's not as fun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I listened to it in French a long time ago, but probably not the whole album.
Really?
You know me.
Yeah, I guess so.
I at some point was just like, what does this sound like in French? And then I found it. But I probably listened to 2 songs and was like, all right, that's what it sounds like in French.
Okay.
I did half on a bus. And then finally, and this is a thing, this is Baby Could Be Meeting World, but just wheel spinning. I'm very gently toying with the idea of trying taking voice lessons.
Okay.
Because I feel like I did a play, I do this podcast, I'm writing a show, I feel like I should do one show. But I know now I do not have the ability to pass an audition. I don't have the emotional fortitude to deal with it, and I also don't have the range or, like, I don't think I am bad at singing. But right now I'm like, oh, I can fuck up karaoke, but no one would cast me in anything. Sure. So I'm part of me. It's like, why don't I give it a little bit of a try, go out for one show, I'll be in the ensemble of just a thing, and then I can just cross it off the bucket list. But it's also expensive, so I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I mean...
Can't hurt to try.
Yeah, it never hurts to try.
Yeah.
But it is expensive.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about.
In this city in particular, you can get great lessons, but it ain't gonna be cheap.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I'm just weighing that, like, oh, I would love to do that, but then it's not a thing I'm probably going to pursue, and then I've dumped a lot of money. He said having dumped thousands of dollars into stand-up comedy open mics.
Yeah. Yeah. But also, you, like, there are certain things that, you know, you're, just because you're trying to make your hobby your work, doesn't mean you can't also have hobbies that you're not trying to monetize.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's the millennial struggle.
It's the millennial struggle. Like actually.
You're what you are.
Like you're
everyone's just like, I'm kind of good at knitting. I will start an Etsy store.
Yeah. It's, you know, they're.
Or you can just make hats for your friends.
Yeah, you're allowed to like things without having it to like justify it by creating a.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to learn how to sing, because if you would like to know how to sing, I think that's incredible.
Okay.
I agree.
But yeah, I'm just realizing that about myself. Because I was I play video games. It's like, Jay, you stream now, you idiot. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I did turn. Yep.
Yeah, remember how I like to make cookies and I decided to make it a business once and then I didn't because I was like, but then it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, you could actually make money doing it.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Millennial struggle.
But of the things that you do,
Get that cash cookie.
That is the one thing that like those cookies are good enough to sell. Ugh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
But also,
you already know that.
No, I do.
If anything, I want you to sell them so they're not in our home.
You'd get so sad if I didn't let you try one.
If we've learned anything in the past couple of weeks, I cannot eat sugar. It's just not.
It doesn't sit well with you.
No.
I just realized we don't have a word of the week.
Yes, we do.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Sometimes they're secrets, Alex. Or sometimes we just don't share the information with you.
I was like, oh no, I dropped the ball. Oh, the ball's carried. Okay.
No, we've got it.
Whew.
Was that all of the world?
That was all of the world, yeah.
Have we met world?
I've been listening to The Prom a lot lately.
Really?
I don't know why, I just really like it.
It's a good summer show.
Yeah, but also, like, yeah, I don't listen to a lot of musicals a lot, but that one in particular, for some reason, I just, like, really like listening to it.
That's very good.
Yeah.
I watched The Wildness on Zoom, as did Alex.
Did?
It was delightful. I sat in this very room.
Yeah.
And I could see you, kind of.
Yeah, and then as soon as I just needed a bunch of snacks, I turned the camera off.
I appreciate that they did that about, like, wanting to see their audience, but no one wants that.
A lot of people, because it's kind of interactive, and they were, like, cutting. The way they did it was very cool.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, I did not need to be observed.
I don't know if this was audible.
Also, it was hot in here, and I wanted. I was like, I am in like no clothes because it's hot in my apartment.
So there were points where you were supposed to unmute yourself so they could hear you, and then sometimes they would mute you all so that story could happen and no one would bug anyone. I don't know if that's what happened or if I was muted because of what I'm about to tell you, but there's a point in the show where they say, everyone eat your sweet treat because you're supposed to bring different
and
things.
Like chew it
and like
close
chew it
to
and
the
like
microphone.
and I just, the spirit moved me. I just went, I fucking love chocolate. And I don't know if they muted me or what, but I saw my thing was muted and I was like, oh, did I upset the wildness?
That is 100% what happened.
Oh, bummer.
I mean, I'm sure they had a stage manager. I was like, oh man,
no
we got it. We got a chatter. Oh baby.
Oh no. I was good after that. I didn't mean to cause no trouble.
You be a good boy, The Wildness.
We like them. I have not. Oh, I did kind of have a theater development in my life.
Yes.
I have tickets to a show.
You
Not
do?
a Broadway show, but Kevin and I are going to 54 Below to see Robbie Roselle's Cabaret.
Oh, fun.
On July 14th.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to come?
Sure.
There's I don't know.
Great.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday, so you might be at work, but
Yeah, probably.
but we got ourselves a table at 54 Below. We're very excited.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even think. I'm shocked they made it, quite frankly.
I know. It must be a small enough place, and I think they own the building. Shall we word of the week?
Word of the week?
It was Jay's idea. Jaybird?
The word of the week is strike.
Not like a Newsies strike.
Not like a Newsies strike.
That was where my head went.
But also like you're striking Newsies.
Yeah. That
must be a fun thing to say at Regional Productions. Newsies strike.
This only came to mind because we're doing In the Heights this week, and it seems that if the internet is any indication, that a lot of high schools are doing have purchased the rights to do In the Heights as their high school musical for the year, and it immediately made me think of one of the more. If you met anyone that did school in high school, high school?
I didn't do school
yeah,
in
good
high
morning.
school. What did you do?
It's hot in here. It's
June.
It's June in New York.
Busting out all over.
Busting out all over, and I'm sweating. No, anyone who did theater in high school has a good, at least 3 or 4 good stories about striking the set. Striking the set means
you take off the stuff.
At the end of the production, it's where you clear the entire set. You basically like set the theater back to 0. In professional theater, it's all done professionally. More often than not, sets are moved to storage spaces. So if they would like to be rented or utilized again, they have the capability of doing that. In most community theater and most high school theaters, it is just kind of reduced back to a workable form that you can kind of turn into something else. Like the flats get disassembled, put back together again, and stored. It is at least from my experience, where a lot of hijinks ensue during strike.
Everyone signs something. Everyone tries to take something home.
Yeah.
Everyone's making out in the wings. I don't know if that's true. Kind of.
Were you making out in the wings, Kent?
No.
I
don't really remember strike, and I think it's because I always tried my best to not do the work.
You were one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, have you met me?
No, honestly, the moment you said it, I was like, of course you were. There are people that just like try and go hide somewhere.
Yeah.
And not have to do anything.
I think I would put the costumes away. And by that I mean there was a couch in the costume closet. I'd sit there.
This is a word I actually have a little bit of experience with, because I think I mentioned to you guys I was not in, but I was around for a community theater production of The Cherry Orchard when I was in high school, and I was supposed to be the prop guy, and then I wasn't good at that, so then I ended up just watching everyone's kids, and I was the babysitter, and like it was cute.
Okay.
But also I was a little bit of they're like, hey, can you grab all that sad Russian furniture?
The gopher.
I was the gopher, so this is something I actually jogged a little bit of a memory when you said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing,
What did you do during strike?
More often than not, I was
you
just
were told.
taking flats down, and one time, but also, it was like it was the tech crew and the actors, and that was always like the big thing. College, it was like a whole thing. Like strike was.
Did you have to strike in college?
Well, the thing is that in order to get your degree, you had to serve on a couple of crews.
Oh, we didn't have that.
So strike was
musical theater majors were too busy at Manhattanville College.
Strike was actually
crew credits.
much less stressful in
making vlogs
in college because you had an entire building full of people who mostly were trying to get a degree in striking. So they got it done. But in high school, like we were putting flats away one time, and we knocked over like a big I want to say bookcase, but that's not shelves. I think it's shelves of just paint, and we got paint all over the shop, like a staggering amount of paint.
Oh,
so much paint.
A Flaming Lips concert amount of paint.
Like a lot of paint, and it was just like, and some of it was kind of old, and so it just stank to high hell. Yeah.
Oh no.
Did you get in trouble?
We didn't get. I mean, we're just doing what we're supposed to do. It was an accident, but it was kind of like.
It's hard to clean up paint.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Almost like that's the point.
We got out of having to do flats and stuff because our job was cleaning up paint for the rest of the time.
Yeah, it's not fun to do.
Yeah, it was not fun. Striking the set. If you meet anyone that's like into theater and did theater in high school, like more often than not, like if they're gonna mention a story about striking a set. And now you know what that is. And
then afterwards is the cast party.
Usually, yeah.
Although sometimes strike is the next day in high school. I feel
well,
like.
in my high school, strike was the next day, which was, hey, if any of our listeners are drama teachers, don't do that. Don't do that. No
one wants to come back.
No, the cast party's got to be after strike.
Yeah,
it's got to be after strike. Because that morning sucks on a rope. And we were mostly like straight edge kids, and we were still eating sober, but we were still up to nonsense up until the middle of the night. So like, don't do that. Yeah.
Agreed.
Strike.
Most places will strike immediately following the last show. For instance, Surflight Theater, when I had crew duties for each show.
Yeah.
And I was just on electrics, just pointing at ladders. And telling people to strike them.
Hiding in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
In a lot of...
It was usually my job to go and get pizza during strike.
It's a good gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of summer stock theaters, like, strike is usually... Yeah, because the turnaround is so quick.
It's not really strike, it's changeover. You are striking a set while immediately loading in the next one.
Okay.
Like on tours, they don't call it strike. It's more of a load in and load out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've walked by enough Broadway theaters that sometimes I can see. Yeah, I remember I walked by Carousel when they were loading it out, and I could see some of the props, and it was cool because I had seen the show, and now I can see all the little knickknacks and clamshells and whatnot, like labeled very minutely in this big crate, and you see through them. It was really cool.
Yeah,
it was sad because it closed, but
yeah.
But yeah, that's true. Like, professional theaters will call it load out, but, like, high school is just like, are you going to strike tomorrow?
Well,
it's 12 hours with our teacher on a Saturday.
Ugh. Well, yeah, load out is the technical term, but while you're loading out, you are striking the set.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can also say something like strike, like, oh, Jay has to strike that chair during this scene, or after that scene.
Which is just removing it from the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
Can I strike this chair? I've worked with Corky before.
That's exactly what I was thinking
We know the terminology.
Are you familiar with Waiting for Guffman?
I saw it in high school. I forgot most of it.
We actually should do...
Yeah, we should absolutely do an episode on Waiting for Guffman.
Yeah.
It's references that you will need to have.
I think...
Why have we not?
I think we need to do that, like, sooner rather than later, quite frankly.
You're staying, we're watching it. Is there anything else about strikes?
No, that's it. I just, I was like...
Yeah, like, what was your favorite memory besides spilling paint all over yourself?
Every time
and,
we were done, I hated it.
I
hated doing it. I hated it. My favorite strike ever was in college, and I was on costume crew for 12th night, and everyone only had one costume, except for one character who had two. And we got the costumes put away within like 45 minutes, and then we went home. It was great.
That sounds like something you'd enjoy.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of memories of strike. I remember, like, signing the flats. And sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
Getting that pizza.
Yeah. Oh, always. Does everyone need anything?
Pizza.
I'll take the pizza order.
Yeah.
I'll run out and get it.
Kimberly's on the za duty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and, like, the other
Kimberly,
intern at Surflight.
I suddenly have to go to the bathroom the minute people start removing plates from the table. Cooper Schmidt.
That's a me.
I know. Drives me up a tree.
Oh, let's talk about In the Heights. Speaking of my high school experience.
In the Heights.
In the Heights, 2007 off Broadway, 2009 on Broadway, and here we are. Do you have personal histories with the show?
I have none. Zero. Nada.
Had you
zip.
listened to it before? Literally today.
No.
We have the off Broadway poster in our home and have for many years.
Yeah, I just I don't think this show was written for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Alex, any personal history with this? I almost said television program. No.
A little bit. Like I everyone knows my affinity for Hamilton, so of course I was gonna make my way to this one eventually. It was one of those shows I started a bunch of times and then didn't finish until a little bit later and appreciated. And there was a production in my neighborhood that I found a flyer for just after it had closed, and I was real mad about it. I was like, I wanted to see. And then Mandy Gonzalez, who was Nina in the original cast, was Angelica when I saw Hamilton both times.
Oh, wonderful.
And I didn't know that when I saw it, but then later I'm like, oh, that's her. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're all connected.
Yes.
In the Heights and Hamilton people, for sure. I saw this show off Broadway with my mom because she saw a really good Times review and she dragged me to it. And I was like, I don't like hip hop, Mother. It's not going to be a good musical. Like, this is not my thing.
I like Showboat.
We saw it the same day as Curtains because I was like, see, I need like a old-timey musical. Like, Curtains will be great. It's David Hyde Pierce. So, like, this hip-hop thing I just don't know about. And then I hated Curtains so much. And then we saw it in the matinee of In the Heights. I don't remember the order. I think we saw the matinee of Curtains, and I was like, that was terrible. I hope this next show is good. And then, lo and behold, it was, like, the best thing I'd ever seen. We pre-ordered the cast album at intermission at the bar. And then got an email like 2 weeks later that just said, hi, you pre-ordered this cast recording. We just announced that we're transferring to Broadway, so we will not be recording this, but you will get the first copy. So like a year and a half later, we got the cast album.
Fun.
That we had pre-ordered at intermission. And there were some differentiating songs. There's some different songs from
different
Alfred.
songs? Yeah.
There are different songs. There are different things.
It's hot in here.
So then I saw it on Broadway 3-ish times, but I only saw Mandy Gonzalez once.
Okay.
I saw, I think, all of her understudies.
Oh, okay.
One of which was Krista Rodriguez.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she was fantastic. How would you know Krista Rodriguez?
Murder Board.
Murder Board. What was that show called?
I can't even remember. It's all I remember
There was a
about
show
it.
she was on.
It was her, and it was the guy from Hand to God.
And was there a murder?
Yeah, I can't remember.
What was that show?
It was the weirdest show.
Loved it, though.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Is it
Krista
who?
Rodriguez was in it.
Yeah.
She was in Spring Awakening. She was in The Addams Family. She was Wednesday.
Okay. Who was she in Spring Awakening?
Understudy.
Oh, okay.
And then she was in The Revival as Ilsa. And now she's in a Netflix series as Liza Minnelli.
Oh, fun.
Oh, then I've seen her.
Halston.
Okay, then I've seen her face because I saw the trailer.
Yes, that's her.
Okay.
I saw her as Nina. She was one of the understudies. Obviously, my favorite thing is always costumes, and I will say that this is what we would call a shopped show, in which they probably didn't make any of the costumes from scratch. And so, lo and behold, Nina comes out for her second scene, and I was like, I own that shirt. That's from Forever 21. I own that shirt. And it was just, like, very out of, like, I don't know. When you're 18, you don't think about the fact that Broadway costume designers will shop for things.
Yeah.
And that they probably bought 50 of that tank top.
100%.
50? Really?
Probably, yeah.
Huh.
Just to have, because they're not going to be in stock in a year, especially Forever 21.
Okay.
It's like once you find the look, you need to kind of corner the market on it.
Yeah.
I was like, how many tank tops are we burning through?
Like that, short sleeve button up that Lynn wears.
Yeah.
They probably had 300 of those shirts laying around.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And Corbin Blue got his own custom one when he took over.
Corbin Bleu did that part?
Yes, he sure did.
When?
In the middle, because I think Lynn went back in and closed the show. It ran for quite some time.
Well, it won all the Tonys.
It won all of the Tonys. I remember being extremely excited. It was my senior year of high school, and I was like, the one that I like won.
Yay.
And it was right after Spring Awakening won. I felt like I was on like a hot streak of having like the favorite show that everybody else agreed with was the best one. And Krista Rodriguez was in both of them, and I remember feeling very fancy that I like knew that. And then when we interviewed her, I was like, oh, cool. On Broadway State. Anyway, I saw it a couple of times on Broadway. I wore the cast album out. I think it was ingrained in my mind as much as Rent was from high school. And I love it very much.
Cool.
And then I haven't really thought about it much in the past couple of years. I mean, we live here and we have the poster up.
Yeah.
But I hadn't listened through it all the way through in like a year or two. So today was fun.
Yeah.
And then the movie comes out, and I have already heard about all of the plot changes and all of the things, and I reserve my judgment, and I will try and be a good sport.
Okay.
Is this going to be a they're talking in Rent situation?
It's more that it's a similar vibe because a lot of the dialogue is either rhythmically spoken or sung through, or a lot of the plot points are given to you in song. Like the opening number, for instance, just like it's all right there. It's like, here are all these people, here's everyone's conflicts, here's everyone wants hopes and dreams all at once. This is our show.
Yeah, this
Establishing the lottery. Here we go.
Yeah, this
the neighborhood has an I Want song, basically.
Yeah, exactly. This is the show. This is what the Heights wants.
Yeah.
The lottery, which is true. We live here.
Oh, yeah. Man, people buying lottery tickets at the bodega, yeah, the struggle is very real.
I know.
Sir, I'm just trying to buy a seltzer. Can I please? Can you all?
Yeah, I don't think I realized until we lived here long enough that, like, of course, a musical about the Heights is about somebody winning the lottery.
100%.
Because everyone
A
buys
man's
lottery
got
tickets.
a dream.
Yeah. What was I saying before that?
You were just talking about your experience within the Heights.
I know what I was saying, something specific. Oh, about the movie. That, so people on TikTok were, like, lip syncing, like, doing, like, first reactions to some lyric changes in that number specifically.
Okay.
And that's what's going to trip me up. Not the fact that the plot is changed, the fact that I have the show memorized.
Yes.
And I will be singing along in my head, and new words will happen.
It's like when they changed some of the words to La Vie Boheme and Live Rent, and it was like, what? Why?
They
I was
changed,
like,
they changed a lot of those lyrics in the
And
whole show.
yes.
and everyone
Why?
knows every single one of them.
Yeah, like,
So it
like
was-
editing around the curses I get, but like just stuff would be different.
Yeah. I'm not even a big Rent head, and I still know all the words to that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I think will trip me up, because there's a character missing in the movie, and so they had to edit around all of her lines.
Oh, did they cut the
They
Rosario
cut
mom?
Nina's mom.
Huh.
Oh,
Because I know Kevin
She
shows
has
up.
a song.
it's the best song in the show.
I know.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. I thought I'd heard the opening number with the changes, and I was like, okay, I guess maybe they just introduced her late. They cut her entirely?
That is what I've heard. I have not seen the
I
movie.
just listened to the whole thing today, and I already am mad about that.
I know. I'm sad. I'm very, very sad. What I will say, what I'm most excited for about the movie is that Abuela Claudia remains Abuela Claudia from the original Broadway cast.
I like that.
Yeah.
She's wonderful. I saw her sing Paciencia y Fe in concert.
But
It was
Piragua
wonderful.
guy, take a hike.
Piragua guy is so good. What are you talking about?
He got recast.
For the movie.
Oh yeah, take a hike. Lynn's doing it with a weird,
Yeah.
with a very strange beard.
Yeah.
That I'm sad about because he was in the same concert that I saw Abuela Claudia in, and he sounds so good.
Yeah.
He's so good. It's very sad. I will also just quick mention that everyone should watch Legally Brown: The Search for the Next Piragua Guy.
Oh, I
on
forgot
YouTube.
about that. That sounds hilarious.
Which is the most 2008 thing that has ever existed.
Here for it.
Has it aged well?
No.
Not particularly.
Okay.
Not at all. Is it still fun? Sure. Is it a time capsule? Yes. Because Legally Blonde: The Search for the Next Elle Woods filmed at 37 Arts, where In the Heights was. So that's why, like, it was, like, shot for shot, the episodes of, and, like, all the same people, and Bernie Telsey and Seth Rudetsky, like, it was wonderful, and it was in the height of people doing dumb little web series on YouTube.
Yeah, remember when people were doing web series, like, really
Especially Broadway people. Like,
Broadway
really,
people
like, producing web series. Submissions only. Legally Brown. There were others.
The Mvilles.
I just remember Facebook being filled with a lot of GoFundMes for for web series that people were taking very seriously.
Absolutely. Those are our personal history within the Heights. So did we enjoy listening to it?
Yes.
So here is the dichotomy of our brains at the current moment. I saw In the Heights many times. I loved In the Heights many times. And then Hamilton is like crash bang sensation. Mm-hmm. The two of you introduced to Lin through Hamilton.
Yes.
Reverse engineer your brains, listen to In the Heights.
Technicality, I was introduced to Lin when he was Dr. House's roommate in an insane asylum.
Oh, absolutely.
And then I was informed that Alvy wrote Hamilton, and I was like, what? That's him? Okay.
That's a good episode, actually.
Yeah. 2 episodes. He shows up twice.
It's 2.
He shows up later.
Sorry.
There's a whole arc with Alvy.
But I feel like a lot of people, I'm sure myself included at the time, felt very cool to know In the Heights first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's how whenever I tell people I saw Hamilton at the public, they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah.
Because I saw In the Heights at 37 Arts, and I was just like, this dude, we follow him.
Yeah, Kimberly and Kimberly's mom were really into Lin from In the Heights.
My mom loves In the Heights.
Yeah.
My sister loves In the Heights. It's like I think, maybe me and Allison saw it twice together.
Yeah.
Because she liked it that much.
Yeah. I have to be honest. I really enjoyed listening through it today. Mm-hmm. I know I say this quite a bit, but I think this one more than anything. I really think this is a show you need to see. I don't think this is really that good of a listen through, quite frankly.
I think it's a good listen through. I don't think it's as good a listen through. I think it's probably better staged. But I'm with you that it's not as fun an album as it probably is an experience.
It's just musically, it just changes tone and changes. Every song feels like 3 different songs.
Kinda.
Sure.
And that's cool on stage when you're like trying to and you can show and tell.
Because every character has kind of their own vibe. Yeah.
But listening through it feels a little disjointed.
And because you're used to listening to something that Lin wrote all the way through. Hamilton, you listen to it, it's the whole show, except for 2 lines from John Lawrence.
I mean, you can get a good amount of the story from
but
the
there
music.
is a book.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I think there's some really great moments to it. I appreciate that. I feel like this is one show that is a musical, but I feel like there's actually real people on stage.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure the book even does a better job than the lyrics do. But the lyrics are, this show feels so lived in immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything, it's also what I don't like about it, that the problems seem just a little bit too mundane. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't it's
story to story. Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. The lottery is what makes it a musical.
100%. 100%.
But everything else is just slice of lifey.
Yeah, which is great.
And everyone has their own. But also, I saw this show, a senior in high school, and it is about a freshman in college.
Oh,
and so I was sitting there just yeah, imposter syndrome is a thing. Before we had a name for it in 2007.
Yeah, 100%.
And what if I fail next year and come back? It is a very high stakes thing to think when you are that age. And he wrote this show his sophomore year in college.
I guess it's more, I find myself liking the B storylines more than I like the A storyline. I just don't.
Who do you consider the A storyline?
Usnavi.
See, I consider Benny and Nina the leads.
Really?
No.
Usnavi is the narrator.
Oh.
Is it all about him?
Yes.
Or just is that how I watch shows? I'm Nina's the main character.
No.
No, I don't think so.
She's so not.
No. Because
she has the first song.
Case
well,
in point,
she has the first not opening
we
number.
were talking about before how Nina and Benny's storyline kind of gels better than Usnavi and Vanessa.
Yeah.
So I would submit he's the protagonist because his storyline is like, oh, and then he gets the girl and like it is built around him.
He gets the lottery.
If we're talking about the lottery is what makes it a show, then he is the main character.
Yeah.
Because like the lottery is kind of his whole thing.
Because otherwise it would just be flipped.
That's true. Interesting.
I think he's interesting, but I also, at least from what I've from the plot synopsis that I read and the music that I listened through, I was just like, what am I supposed to understand about this guy other than he kind of wants to go back to the Dominican Republic?
So that in lies where I think I consider Nina and Benny the main character only because their love story is truer.
100%.
Like Usnavi and Vanessa are very interesting people on their own, but them wanting to be together
they like each other.
Never quite fit.
They like each other because they like each other. Like, because story wants them to.
Yeah. Like, I was fine with, like, would it have been more interesting if she wasn't into it?
Or if he just didn't have a love story at all.
Yeah. I don't think he needed one. And I don't think Vanessa needed one either.
No.
Vanessa's an interesting character I would love to talk to people who, we know who did it. I'd love to talk to Lynn about how he developed Vanessa.
I'm going to be honest. If you're cutting a character, she's the character.
So it's because, I would like to know about her development because here's one thing that changed from off-Broadway to Broadway that I think just shows that they didn't know what to do with her.
Okay.
Off-Broadway, her main costume is a jean skirt and a long-sleeve t-shirt and Chucks. On Broadway, it is the same jean shirt, the same t-shirt, and heels.
Huh.
And that little change of putting heels with that outfit, and she looked so uncomfortable in them, was just like, they don't know who this girl is.
Yeah, like
does that make sense?
Yeah, like
she's there to be the love interest.
Yeah, like that's what I was
saying.
They
were like, she needs heels on because she is the love interest.
That's what I'm saying. Like Usnavi is the main character because look at the lengths they have gone to write this character around him to the point where it almost makes that other character suffer. And I think not as much as it could have because we should say that the book was written by a woman, which is why all the female characters feel like people and not cardboard cutouts. Yes. But still, one of them clearly got short shrift.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's trying to work around his
Because it had to have a kind of love story at the end. Yeah. And I don't hate their love story. Yeah. I like Champagne. I like that song.
It's
I like...
It is a cute song.
It's
How do you
very
get this
cute.
Gold shit off?
But they're like, just kind of like their love story is very much like they'll probably end up together, but like, isn't it cute how this kind of starts? Just like people that have known each other for so long.
Yeah, I guess.
Where Benny and Nina are just like, this is like the hot and heavy Hallmark movie love story.
Yeah. But written in a believable way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not mad about the Vanessa and Usnavi thing. I just think it's not as compelling as the other one.
I will also say, Chiara Alegria Hudes, Hudes? I listened to her say her name a few times today. Thank you. I was right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's clear that there's a woman's hand in the book and the storytelling because both Nina and Vanessa have goals and wants that are not about the men that they inevitably end up with.
Yeah.
Nina wants to find herself and wants to go to college and figure all of that stuff out. Vanessa wants to be on her own and like get out of the heights, and none of it, like them having love stories has nothing to do with them getting what they want.
Yeah.
Which is something I very much like. And is something that is not present in Hamilton.
Yeah.
In which everyone just wants Hamilton.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can blame the time period. But you can also blame the writer.
Well, you can blame the writer, I think, a little more because, like, the Angelica is in love with him. That is completely made up.
Completely made up.
Well, so they had they had a flirty relationship, but writing that she's in love with him is creative license.
Artistic license. It's okay. It's not real. It's a great show, but that doesn't mean it's real.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Historical fiction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My mother's favorite genre.
It's everyone's like, well, Hamilton was this, and this. I was like, it's a great show. There's no Phantom of the Opera, but we still go. I was like, that opera exists, but there's no Phantom there. Come on.
How do you know?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I think people are like, well, people are turning tides on Hamilton. I'm like, can we not kill our darlings just a little bit? Can we just not consume our own? Can we just let Hamilton be great? It was like, can that just like exist in 2016 and we can leave 2020 out of it? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I find the most compelling characters of the show to be Nina's parents and Abuela, quite frankly.
Yes, listening to it, this happens all the time when I listen back to things that I listened to as a youth, basically a child, and then I'm all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, the parents are right. The parents are right, and the parents are very interesting.
It's like I'm listening to Rent and I'm over 30. Oh my God, you damn kids, you're all being
like
jerks.
This time, my favorite
rent.
Pay your rent. Stop being a baby. You have a job, Mark. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Where this time, listening back, like my favorite songs are Enough, Inutile, and Piacenza y Fe.
Yeah.
Which is the 3 adult songs.
Yeah. And I also just like, I appreciate that it's like the frustrations in Benny and Nina's relationship. I feel like it has just enough of that musical too convenient by half.
Yeah,
but it also feels realistic.
Yeah, its artificiality feels like it makes it better, not worse. Because you're like, it's a little bit of the genre, like, oh yeah, this is a musical. Let's be a musical.
Yeah, but also like,
oh yeah,
yeah, but like him selling the dispatch to help her go to college, therefore having to lay off Benny, like
Gift of the Magi.
Yeah, it's a little too convenient, but also it was like, but like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's within the realm of the genre.
And in such an insular community, like, yeah, that would have happened, you know?
Although if I'm buying a dispatch, I'm keeping the staff. Come on.
Yeah,
you're telling me you're buying a dispatch and you've got a guy who's worked there 5 years that really knows what he's doing?
Did you see his song?
I was like, if you pay enough attention to buy this business, you know that Benny is good at his job. Like, you need to know, like, you're keeping that guy, you're giving him a raise, he's gonna run your business for you. Like,
I hope Benny's dispatch.
You're bringing in a whole new dispatch staff? Come on, that's not, guys. That ain't it.
Yeah, if you're keeping the same drivers,
maybe
not. I don't know.
Come on, like let's live in the now a little bit. Let's it's ridiculous. I'm gonna go buy a dispatch. I'll see you guys later. I think I know enough now.
Also, since moving to New York, every time Vanessa talks about that she has a down payment in cash in her closet for a 1-bedroom in the West Village.
That always trips me up. I'm like, her apartment is either unrealistically cheap or sucks in the West Village, because you don't get that.
Or she has been saving up so many tips.
Or girl's got $5,000 in her closet.
10, 12.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll go with it.
I know, like,
this is a musical, but like,
I remember watching that in high school and just being like, oh, interesting. And then I remember, like, moving to New York, I was like, she had so much money in her closet.
I've seen
Put it in your bank account.
I've seen apartments on West 4th Street. They're not great.
For rental or purchase?
Rental.
A rental.
Oh, okay. It was when you said like 10. I was like, it doesn't cost. You don't need $10,000 to move into the West Village.
First, last, broker, security.
Oh yeah, you need $10,000.
A 1-bedroom in the West Village when it's $4,000 a month.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't that much when they were writing in 2005.
Yeah, probably not that far off though, too.
But 2 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is she doing that she can afford? I don't know.
Saving to make a down payment and pay rent. I mean, tips at the hair salon.
All right.
She's got it.
Cool.
Although canonically they do say that she doesn't get paid as much as she wants. But also that's her opinion, so maybe she just... I don't know. I'm not going to pick apart the lore of In the Heights that deeply.
They're not paying her enough to afford $4,000 a month rent.
Let's get Lynn on the phone right now.
Excuse me, how much was Vanessa's apartment?
We're in the Heights right now. We could probably just start walking around and see if we can find him.
It's true.
A friend of mine actually lives around the corner from him and sees him at the coffee shop sometimes, but doesn't want to bug him because he's with his kid, which is fair.
No, never.
Yeah,
never. Their children, never talk to them.
No.
They do not want to talk to you.
Nope.
They're with their children.
No, compliment their kid's shirt.
No.
Celebrities are like bears. If you
they're more scared of you than you are of them.
If you see them with babies, do not approach.
No.
Do not approach.
I saw him with his dad once and I waved on the street. That's as much as I should have done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's very hot in this room. What are we talking
Yes.
about next?
I really
Little Love.
I have one
Let's
opinion
talk
I wanna
about
get
more
to.
big opinions.
All right.
So I really like this show. I don't think it's anywhere as good as Hamilton. I know that's just that's a taste thing. I feel like this show, hearing this show, I'm like, okay, there's a few songs, there's a lot of songs on here that are fantastic. The lyrics are fantastic throughout. I do feel that, I don't know if it's just because he's committed to this one very specific genre or because it's just the show. I feel like some of the songs bleed together for me. Not necessarily story-wise, but like some of the ones toward the middle, I'm like, musically, I can't quite tell this apart from a different one, but like I'm not mad.
I 100% agree.
But like Hamilton, I'm like everything's a gem, everything is different, and it has flow. So I like this quite a bit. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's better than him. I don't think it's even close, but I do think it's good.
Sure.
Yeah. I
And
think that's kind of
I would say
it's the riffs,
imagine
yeah.
seeing this in 2007 when it is the first of its kind.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure. I can't wait to see that movie. I'm sure I would have had a great time. I just feel like some of the riffs are a little samey, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure if it's because he's going for that very specific genre that has that kind of very specific tone to it.
I think you're right. She's never going to agree, but I think you're right.
Well, I will also say, do you not hear a lot of this in Hamilton?
I actually think that every song in Hamilton is varied enough.
And they're also...
I don't. That's not what I mean. Do you not hear the influences?
Sure.
There are a lot of
Oh, definitely.
There are a lot of the same melodies. They're not the same melodies, but there are a lot of things.
You don't
And
get Hamilton.
I'm home. Boom.
It's good to see your face. You don't get Hamilton without In the Heights, so I'm in no way mad about it.
I also think from a songwriting perspective, Hamilton has stronger through line.
Yeah.
Like the songs are thematically a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like
well, they had to also be the book.
I don't know why you need to.
Because it's fun to be a devil's advocate on a podcast.
Yeah, you just like don't want to let it go.
You're it's fun.
Have you even seen Merrily, Jay?
Yeah, I love Merrily. It's my favorite show.
I'm just gonna poke holes in everything you say.
Except I didn't really care for the off-Broadway show, the most recent one. I found it to be a little bit trivial and a little trite. And whatever else Kimberly said.
I'll say. A lot of that is also very much how Alex Lacamoire orchestrates stuff.
That's very true.
And this was, I think, their first project together, and they worked on it for many, many years.
Yes.
In their youth.
And Tommy Kail directed this too?
Yes, he did.
So is that same...
Same everyone.
Yeah.
Chris Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, did I fall in love with Chris Jackson. Joshua Henry was his understudy.
Ooh, good casting.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, the original cast of In the Heights is, like, stacked.
Of course.
Robin DeJesus of Camp fame.
Oh, yeah.
We're all familiar with the movie Camp. Oh, we should absolutely watch Camp as well. Camp and Waiting for Guffman. Yes!
I saw Camp in the theaters. It was bad then, it's bad now.
It's a wonderful film.
Ugh.
That only 16-year-old theater kids enjoy.
100%. That's exactly what I was when we went and all my theater friends, we went and saw Camp.
Oh, that was like, probably nauseating to be around.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot.
We watched it at a sleepover. Me and a bunch of theater kids. It's a very theater kid thing. Mm-hmm. I'll also say that In the Heights has become very much a theater kid thing.
Yeah. Yeah. As well it should.
Yeah. I like it a lot.
I think it's time for Little Loves.
Absolutely.
I'm
have
hot.
some. I'm very hot.
You're going to say I'm very high.
We've already talked about how much I loved Abuela Claudia. Oh, my main little love is there's no 9 train now.
Yeah.
Because every single time my dad asks me about what subway he should take, he says, should I take the 1/9? And he literally makes me sing to him, there's no 9 train now. Like, I have to say there's no 9 train.
That's very sweet.
I
Don't
know.
you roll your eyes. Don't you roll them.
Which just goes to show
That's
that my dad
very
also
cute.
loves this show. Literally, have you ever heard him do that?
No.
Or you probably have, but you didn't get the reference.
Where does your dad Lion King in this show? Is it after the first button?
I'm home. Lion King. It's the end.
Okay. Saves
That
it up
is
to
a fun thing to think about in every show. Or how does the 96,000 Lion King?
The Book of Mo.
Maybe. Lion King.
Lion King. There are even Lion King references in that show.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I already talked about Nina wearing the tank top and the sneakers to the heels. The one line that I remembered today, I got a perfect shady spot a little ways away that ought to cool us down. That whole line in When You're Home. Just Benny. He's
every
so
lyric
cool.
of this is fantastic.
Yeah. And then in New Teal today, I really liked.
It's very good.
Because it must be a very real feeling to feel useless as a dad.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that they frame it as I was in this position once and now I still don't like how my dad reacted, but now I at least understand where it was coming from is a very powerful kind of turn for a character.
Someone like understanding why their parents did something because they were only doing the best they could and they're also doing the best. Like, it's a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
It makes you feel things.
Mm-hmm.
All right, little loves from you.
I also don't know how you go to Stanford realizing how much money you need in order to go to Stanford and
casually drop out.
Or she got a scholarship and then she lost it.
Yes, but she got a scholarship, but she lost it because she needed 2 jobs in order to afford Stanford. And I was like, hey, maybe you shouldn't have gone to Stanford. Like, there are other colleges, like...
Yeah, but it was in the height of... In the height.
In the height.
I feel like it was in the height of, when it was when I was in high school, of just like everyone was just obsessed with what college they were going to, and now I feel like it's more acceptable again to just go to a good school.
Yeah.
And not have like a name recognition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. My little loves. The opening is just the level of specificity of a bodega in the Washington Heights.
Yeah.
Because I go to bodegas all the time. I love a bodega, and I was just like,
there's one directly below us.
There's one directly below us. There, I know everyone there. Yep. It's not even a little love. That's kind of a big love for me. I really love. It makes me sad that Uber has basically killed the dispatch driver because all the dispatch stuff. I was like, I could do that job. I feel like I could do that job. Mm-hmm. That'd be fun. That sounds fun. You just talk on the radio all day? It's awesome.
I know. This show is not that old, and yet I'm so interested to see how they update things.
Yeah, this is
to be current.
This falls into what we're noticing, that period pieces happen more and more rapidly than we think they will.
Yeah.
Because of technology.
Yeah.
We still have a dispatch call center on 163rd in Amsterdam. There's still one there.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, like they still exist. It's like seeing a travel agent. You know, like they still exist, but like, do they?
Yeah, my old boss, I had to call cars for him because he wouldn't call an Uber, and I was like, "You're getting in car number 275 at this time." Like,
oh boy,
it was so much.
Yeah,
and they sent us invoices.
My other little love, and I think maybe it's my favorite number in the show, but I just when she's just telling both of them, she's like, "You come home." Like, stop trying to make a big it like made me cry. I was like, this is, and that's the nice thing about this show is that the women are so well written that I was just like, yes, this is a strong and independent woman, like controlling her home in a way that I like really.
Yeah. So let's kill her off.
I'm like really upset. That was like the one moment of the show I like really connected to, and I was like. Yeah, I was just like, hey, like, if you're having trouble at school, just call us.
Yeah, and also that fits again with the whole show is going, you can come home, it's okay. And
it's okay.
Like,
and
everyone learns that lesson.
What is home?
Yeah, and everyone learns that lesson in a different way.
Yes,
and
very
I like
much
that
so.
a lot.
Yeah.
What is home? Making a new home, going back to a home you've never been to.
Realizing you've been home the whole time.
Yeah. Realizing you don't need to go to some place that you think you need to go to in order to be who you are.
Yeah.
Like, you already are who you are where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are my little loves.
I love it. Alex?
I've got a few. I love 96,000. I think it's one of the best songs in the whole show.
Oh, yeah.
I could just rattle off every individual moment of that song that I like, but I will spare you, and I will just make a couple. I like 1, 2, 3, what would you do for 90? And my favorite part lyrically of that song is when they're all going through what they would do with the money, and Sonny just gives this, like, eat the rich rant about how he wants to bring wireless web browsing and anti-gentrification, and I'm just so here for it. Like, Sonny's just this little progressive who just doesn't talk about it a lot until he does, and then he's like, yeah, ACAB! And we're like, whoa, Sonny, you read. We didn't think Sonny read, but Sonny reads. I love that Vanessa has a whole verse about how catcalling sucks. And I don't know if Lin wrote it. I don't know if that was the book writer, talent, whoever did that. I'm like, good. I've never understood why that was in any way accessible. What's the word I'm thinking of? Acceptable. Ooh.
I just thought you were about to say that you didn't understand why it was a bad thing. And
No.
I was like, Alex!
No.
No.
I've never understood why anyone thought it was okay.
Correct.
It is very hot in this room.
It is very hot in this room.
And so I'm glad there's a whole part. And that she says it. It's not like a man says it over her to teach it. Like, she tells you how she thinks.
Yeah.
And then Blackout is one of my favorite Act 1 closers ever. Especially for the
Man can close an act.
Yes. Look at the fireworks.
Yes, that song made me pre-order the album.
Yes.
Off Broadway.
Yeah.
Because my mom and I were in the bathroom going, look at the fireworks. And now we live in the Heights with the fireworks.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I kept thinking, oh, I guess this must be about 4th of July. And then it wasn't until we moved here that I was like, this is about any day.
Yeah.
It's hot in summertime. Yeah,
There are
hot.
fireworks. There were some last night.
Yeah.
It's
And I love it in that song. Everybody's flipping shit, and Abuela's just looking at the stars, just like a little Buddha, just super chilled out, like
Praise to Abuela.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
love
I had an
her.
aunt that was basically an Abuela to the neighborhood a little bit, so that
Aw.
resonated. Yeah.
I forgot what else I was going to say. So we go to Harold. What
Leave.
does he do?
He should leave.
Yeah, he should leave. He's already gone. We kicked him out.
Yeah, he did not come back after the fireworks.
No. They
Fireworks are too loud. I'm leaving.
They spooked him good like a horse.
Yeah. Is there a review?
There is. This is from Brooklyn Sam. Everyone, please leave Broadway Baby 5 stars and a nice review on iTunes. I don't know if you can do it on Spotify, but we're on Spotify now, and we're on Amazon, Audible, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I finally got taken care of. The subject to this review is just the heart eyes emoji. It says, just started listening and already in love. Can't wait to dig into more episodes.
Yay.
Yeah.
And now, sing out, Louise.
Mike's on in Washington Heights. I gotta check the sound and log on, and I got some little loves I'm gonna jot down. Test the chords and boot up the app. Unwrap my podcast apparel. Good morning, Harold.
Broadway Baby, I can't shut off my phone, and I'm seeing 6 tonight with my granddaughter. She's gonna be so mad.
There you go, Harold. Now it's on silent.
You're doing the Lord's work, Broadway Baby.
I'm Broadway Baby, and you maybe haven't heard my name. My theater game has just been initiated. I never did a play before I graduated, cause I thought I hated it, and now I'm fascinated. You could say it's complicated. And times are tough for content makers, cause quarantine and Zoom were spirit breakers. But listenership is ticking up. I'm thinking if the algorithm picks it up, then we can make a living if we bring it just enough on the mics. I hang my playbill on display. They remind me that I used to hate Broadway. On the mics, chasing the time that got away. Lost the fight, but I've got today. And as for tomorrow, you know that the show will just keep going. We keep rolling dice and see who subscribes. Avoid Facebook fights if the comments aren't nice. Tweet at the bright lights. We're paying the price with just a dream and a drive to get likes on Washington mics. Bap!
Yay.
On Washington Mics. This episode's brought to you by Washington Mics.
96,000.
Damn.
$96,000.
Holla.
96,000.
Yo, somebody won.
96,000.
Yo, if I won the lotto tomorrow, well, I know I wouldn't bother going on no spending spree. I'll pick a business school and pay the entrance fee. Then maybe, if you're lucky, you'll stay friends with me. I'll be a businessman richer than Nina's daddy. Donald Trump and I on the links, and he's my caddy. My money's making money. I'm going from po to moto. Keep the bling. I want the brass ring like Frodo. Oh no, there goes Mr. Braggadocio. Next thing you know, you're lying like Pinocchio. If you're scared of the bull, stay out the rodeo. I got more hoes than a phone.